Please, don't hurt me. I can't walk, she whimpered, her trembling voice echoing through the cold warehouse. A single light flickered above, revealing the terrified face of Amelia Hart, the city's youngest and most powerful CEO, now broken, helpless, and cornered. But what happened next changed everything. And trust me, you won't believe who stepped out of the shadows to save her. Stay till the end, because this story will touch your heart in ways you'll never forget. But first, if you love stories that make you feel deeply, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel right now. It helps us share more emotional stories like this one with you. Amelia Hart, 32, fierce, and untouchable. She was known as the Iron Lady of Hart Industries, a woman who built an empire out of ashes. To her employees, she was power personified. Her crisp white suits, her sharp heels clicking across the marble floors, and her icy blue eyes that could silence a room. But behind that perfect armor was a secret, a pain she never allowed anyone to see. The world knew her as ruthless, but the truth was that every decision she made came from survival. She'd grown up poor, abandoned by her father, and forced to protect her bedridden mother. Every success she earned was born from hunger, sleepless nights, and heartbreak. Yet the higher she climbed, the lonelier it became. That night, the rain poured endlessly over the city skyline as Amelia's black car cut through the storm. Her assistant had begged her to let the driver take her home, but she refused. She needed to clear her mind. The company's biggest deal had just collapsed. A betrayal from within had cost her millions. Anger burned through her veins, but beneath it was something deeper, fear. For the first time in years, she didn't feel in control. She parked in a quiet part of the city near the docks, the kind of place no CEO should be alone. She stepped out, clutching her coat, the rain soaking through her hair as she took deep breaths, trying to calm her racing thoughts. That's when it happened. The screech of tires. The flash of headlights. A van stopped behind her. Two men stepped out, their faces hidden under dark hoods. Before she could react, one of them grabbed her arm, twisting it painfully. "What do you want?" she demanded, her voice shaking with anger more than fear. "You think money scares us?" one sneered. "We don't want your money, sweetheart. We want your signature, and maybe a little entertainment." Her blood ran cold. They knew who she was. This wasn't random. They shoved her toward the van, and when she resisted, one kicked her legs out from under her. A sharp pain shot through her ankle. She fell hard, crying out as she realized something was wrong. Her leg wouldn't move. "Please, don't hurt me. I can't walk," she begged, her pride shattering with every word. The men laughed. The mighty CEO begging now? Where's your power, huh? They dragged her toward the van. Amelia clawed at the wet pavement, desperate. Her voice cracked, her tears mixing with the rain. She thought of her mother, of her promises to never be weak again. But in that moment, she wasn't the Iron Lady. She was just a woman, broken and terrified. Then, from the shadows of the alley, a deep voice thundered, "Let her go." The men froze, turning toward the sound. A tall figure stepped forward, his silhouette illuminated by a dim streetlight. He looked like an ordinary man, jeans, a dark jacket, his hair damp from the rain, but there was a quiet fire in his eyes. He held a steel pipe in one hand, his jaw clenched with fury. "You heard me," he growled. "Let her go." One of the attackers laughed. "You gonna play hero, tough guy?" The stranger didn't answer. He moved faster than they expected, swinging the pipe and striking the first man's arm with a sickening crack. The second lunged at him, but he dodged, countering with a hard punch that sent the man sprawling into the mud. The fight was quick but brutal. Within moments, the two thugs scrambled back to their van, spitting curses before speeding off into the storm. Amelia lay on the ground, clutching her leg, shaking uncontrollably. The stranger rushed to her side, kneeling beside her. "Hey, it's okay," he said gently. "They're gone. You're safe now." She looked up, her eyes full of disbelief. Who are you?" "Name's Ethan," he said simply. "Ethan Cole." His voice was calm, grounding, like a steady flame in the cold. He carefully examined her ankle. "Looks like a sprain. Can you move your toes?" She tried, but the pain was unbearable. "No. I can't." He nodded, removing his jacket and wrapping it around her shoulders. "We need to get you out of here." She hesitated, pride warring with vulnerability. "I can handle myself," she muttered weakly. He met her gaze. "I just watched you nearly get taken. You don't need to handle this alone." He carried her to his truck, shielding her from the rain. The interior was warm and smelled faintly of coffee and pine. She noticed a child's drawing taped to the dashboard, a stick figure family holding hands under a bright sun. Her eyes softened. "You have a kid?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "Yeah," he said with a small smile. "My daughter, Lily. 7 years old. She's the best thing that ever happened to me." Amelia felt something twist inside her. She hadn't heard warmth like that in years. As he drove, she studied him quietly. His hands were calloused, his clothes plain, but there was strength in the way he carried himself. He didn't seem intimidated by her, nor impressed. Just human. When they reached his small house on the outskirts of town, he carried her inside despite her protests. The home was cozy, cluttered with toys and drawings. "You live here?" she asked, scanning the humble space. "Yeah. Not much, but it's ours," he replied, helping her onto the couch. As he wrapped her ankle in a towel, Lily appeared from her room, rubbing her eyes. "Daddy? Who's that?" Ethan smiled softly. "This is Miss Amelia. She got hurt, so she's staying with us tonight." The little girl's eyes widened. "Oh no. I can help. Mommy used to say soup makes people feel better." Amelia froze at the word mommy. Ethan's smile faltered for a moment, but he nodded. "That's right, sweetheart." Lily rushed to the kitchen, and for the first time in a long while, Amelia felt something break inside her, something warm and painful all at once. The sound of laughter, the scent of soup, the simplicity of care, it was a world so far from the boardrooms and battles she lived in. Ethan brought her the soup Lily proudly made. "It's a bit salty," he whispered apologetically. Amelia smiled faintly. "It's perfect," she said. Later that night, when Lily was asleep, Amelia sat by the window, watching the rain. Ethan joined her quietly. "You should probably tell someone what happened," he said. "I can call the police." She shook her head. "No. If they find out, it'll ruin my company's image. People can't know their CEO was helpless." He looked at her for a long moment. "You don't have to be invincible all the time." Her eyes filled with tears she didn't know she'd been holding back. "I've built my whole life on being strong," she whispered. "But tonight, I realized I'm just tired." Ethan nodded, his voice low and understanding. "Sometimes strength isn't about standing alone. Sometimes it's about letting someone stand with you." And in that quiet living room, surrounded by warmth and the soft hum of rain, the Iron Lady of the city, Amelia Hart, finally exhaled. She didn't know it yet, but this single night, this single dad, and his little girl were about to change everything she thought she knew about love, family, and what it truly means to be strong. Days turned into weeks, and Amelia's injury slowly healed, but something deeper was mending too. Ethan and little Lily had unknowingly filled a void she'd long forgotten existed. Each morning, Lily brought her coffee with a crooked smile, and each evening, Ethan shared stories about ordinary life, honest, imperfect, and beautiful. Amelia found herself laughing, feeling, and breathing differently. One afternoon, she confessed her truth, who she really was. Ethan only smiled and said, "You're not your title, Amelia. You're someone's reason to smile now." His words struck her harder than any business victory ever had. When she returned to her company, her board was shocked to see her changed, kinder, more human, stronger in a new way. And when reporters asked what inspired her transformation, she simply said, "A single dad and his little girl reminded me what it means to live." That night, she stood under the same rain that once made her shiver, but this time, she smiled. Because she finally understood, being strong doesn't mean never falling. It means finding someone who helps you rise again. If this story touched your heart, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more emotional stories that remind you, love always finds a way. Red Heart.